Hey everyone, so we are here today for another painting job. As you can see, customer only stated that he wants the outside painted, so we are not gonna paint the inside the cabinets. It's an MDF and it has some vinyl coating, so we have some sanding to do here because it's not in good condition. There's some grease, so we will wash it with the soap dishing water, and then we will give it a quick sand, and then we will prime it and make it ready for the painting next day. There's also another section here. So yeah, this section needs to be painted too, and it's gonna be another job. We are now getting ready to isolate this area from rest of the house. As you can see, it's very connected to the living room. Now we will start to covering it up and we will show you the whole process. Right now we are starting to do the covering part, and we are gonna cover all the floors and the countertops. We are also covering all these prefixes just in case there's any paint leakage. Also, we are covering the walls on the top because the walls in the beige color, so it's a different color from our paint, so we don't want any paint on the walls. After we are finishing the covering part, we will start up the cleaning part. As you can see, we had a stovetop in this area and there's a lot of grease, and a lot of is a hardened grease, so we have to clean all of the grease before we do any sanding or do any priming. We are using our regular dishwasher and the water mixture for this job, nothing fancy. Um, we have to make sure all of the grease is cleaned up, because if there's any grease left, it's gonna come up on top. Even after the priming and the sanding, it's still gonna show up, so we have to make sure we do this part properly. Right now we are using our orbital sander because it's a very flat surface and the cabinet design allows us to do this. Usually we use the flexible sandpaper, but in this case we can use our orbital sander with our 200 grit paper to make sure the area is prepped up for the priming. After we do the sanding part, we clean up the area altogether to make sure everything is clean and primer will bond properly. Right now we are started priming the area. We are using the Extreme Bond primer from Sherwin Williams to do our priming. Our machine is Greco 490, and we are using 0.08 as a tip, which gives us a very nice and smooth finish. We did 2 coats of primer, and as you can see it's the same color as our paint, so it's very easier to work with this primer right now. Our usual process is we always start from the top and then go to the bottom, just to make sure there is no any particles that goes up when we do the top up later. After we finish our primer and it's dried up, after 2 coats, we are doing a little light sanding on our primer, because there still might be some imperfections left after priming. We make sure it's all prepped up before we apply our first coat of paint. It's very crucial to make sure that we have a good adhesion, and here we have started our first coat of paint. As you can see, it's the same color with our primer, so it's very hard to see, but I'm gonna show you how different primer and paint looks. For our paint, we are using Sherwin Williams Gallery series. It's a waterborne paint, and it gives us a very good, very smooth factory finish. So that was our preference for this job. As you can see now on the left, we have this paint, and as we see it on the matte side is just a primer. For the record, we are using a satin, we are not using a gloss paint, but because of this water based formula, the paint looks very smooth and looks like it just came out of the factory. Overall, we used 3 coats of paint with usual 1 hour and 1.5 hours interval between them to make sure paint dries properly, so we don't have any imperfections or anything left from behind. And right now it's our favorite part of the job, which is removing all the covers and see the kitchen in all glory. Here we have to be careful with removing the covers because there's a lot of dust particles in them, so we have to be careful that we do not pollute the home with all these particles left on these frames. Here we have all the job finished. Customer also bought some new handles, so it looks very great with the new black handles and it suits our kitchen best. And here you can see this new look. It looks like a brand new kitchen and a whole totally new vibe.